Hey YouTube, I just had a really interesting day or experience. I'm sitting on my bed. I have my altar, my reverence altar in front of me, which I'm thinking about showing on camera. Sorry if the lighting sucks. I don't have a ceiling light up here in the upper part of my apartment. I just have that cheap floor lamp. Anyway, so every morning I wake up and I draw a tarot card from my grandmother's deck, and I draw a card from my new Shaman's Oracle deck. Let me grab that right now before I forget. So, we're approaching Samhain. We're less than 2 weeks away. I have been practicing opening myself up to communication with spirit, ancestors, human and non-human. Whatever's out there watching out for me. So that's why I've been using my grandmother's tarot deck, because she has communicated with me a few times since she died. She died in 2000, so 15 years ago. But anyway, so I have an affinity, or I have a special relationship with her. I'll talk more about that later. I just wanted to throw this video up here real quick because this morning I was shuffling the cards, and sometimes I draw a card, or sometimes if a card just kind of jumps out of the deck, I take that as the message, like, hey, this is the message you need. Use this card. So I was shuffling and one of the cards jumped out of the deck, and that card happened to be the Tower. Kind of a scary card to start your day with. Right? And then the card I got from my Shaman's Oracle deck is the Spirit of Wisdom. So this whole day I've been trying to figure out, what could this message be for me? Why does Spirit, or why does my ancestors, why do they want me to see the Tower, which represents paradigm shifts, it represents sudden change, it represents unpredictability, unpredictable change, kind of scary things with the Spirit of Wisdom. So I got back from class and everything. I'm downstairs. Now I have my own personal tarot deck that I keep downstairs on my working altar. And I was just kind of playing around with it, listening to actually Arwen from Tarot by Arwen, listening to some of her tarot deck reviews. And so I had that playing in the background, and I just started pulling a card out. I shuffled the deck. I used my left hand to divide it into 3, and I picked the middle pile to be on top. Lo and behold, the card that I pull out, the Tower, again. So what is the likelihood that from 2 different decks, at 2 different times in the same day, that I'm going to pull out the Tower? So obviously, I took that as a big hint, like, hello, you need to start paying attention to something. Something out there is trying to communicate with you. So I came up to my altar up here. I lit some candles. I put some incense on. I grabbed my big piece of amethyst, and I just closed my eyes and said, okay, ancestors, spirit, whatever's watching out for me, I'm too stupid to figure out what this message is. Can you please help? And I just meditated on the cards, and I was analyzing the image of the Tower, and suddenly it hit me. Let me give you some context before I explain what it means. And I need to switch my hands. Okay. I've had some issues lately, but also in the past, with some friendships of mine. And these people, these friends, they're still my friends because they're very loyal and loving. But unfortunately, sometimes I feel that the relationship, the energy I put into the relationship, isn't always reciprocated. For example, one of my friends, I sent her a care package lately, and I took a lot of time, handmade items from scratch, and I sent them to her. And I barely got a thank you, or what felt like a thank you to me. I mean, I know you shouldn't give gifts expecting anything in return. I wasn't expecting anything in return. Like, my intention is not to give someone a gift so that I can use that as a tool of manipulation and guilt trip them into doing shit for me. That's not it. But if I took the time and a lot of money and a lot of effort to make handcrafted things, I think I should get more of a thank you than just a simple text message, like a very short text message, not even a real conversation through texting. Like, and this particular friend, she and I have a history in which she has kind of intruded on my personal space, even my husband's personal space. She has kind of expected too much of from me. She hasn't respected my boundaries. That's the best way I can put it. Like, before my husband and I got married, we were living together, we were engaged, we were basically a month away from the wedding, and she decides to drive into town, crash at our place, because she just wanted to get out of her town where she lives and party for a weekend. And she didn't think about the fact that my husband and I were really busy graduate students. We have a lot going on. We were planning a wedding. We were really fucking busy. And we didn't have time to host a guest and entertain a guest for a weekend. And this particular friend, I've told her no before, and she gets mad at me when I don't give her what she wants out of me. Now, keep in mind, since she has gotten married, of course she recognizes all the boundaries for her, and she has no problem telling me the limits of what I can do now, because she has to dedicate herself to her husband, you know? It's just, she puts up these boundaries with me. Now that she's married, she has no problem telling me no. But before, when I was married, or when I was living with my partner, she did have a problem with me telling her no. You know what I mean? I do have to give her credit. She has since asked forgiveness and recognized that what she did was wrong. But again, hindsight is 20/20. Asking forgiveness does help, but it doesn't fix the issue, because the issue's in the past. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I have a history of I have a problem saying no to people, and I have a problem giving too much of myself to people. And these people, they get in the habit of expecting to always get what they want from me, so the one time I say no, they blow up. So, all that being said, the tower. If you think about it, this tower is built on top of a mountain, and it's being struck by lightning. Of course, being built up high, just like tall trees or tall telephone poles, makes you more vulnerable to lightning strike. So, the people in the tower may act surprised that they're being struck by lightning, but really they were kind of asking for it. So this card today, for me, in this particular situation, means don't make yourself vulnerable. By giving too much of yourself and being afraid to say no, of course you're setting yourself up to be struck by lightning, like a tower on top of a mountain. You're asking for it. So that is the shift that I need to make. That is the drastic change that the tower also represents. I can be a friend with someone. I can be generous. I can be giving and loving. They can be generous and giving and loving with me. But I also shouldn't make myself vulnerable. I also need to know when to say no and when to put up barriers and not let people cross them. So that is the lesson I just had to share with you guys. And the Spirit of Wisdom card that came up, this is the wisdom that I needed to receive today. Or it's the wisdom I probably had within me because I've been thinking about this issue for the past week or so. But I just needed that extra push from my ancestors and from Spirit to finally, I'm tongue-tied, I'm tired, to finally download the message, so to speak, to digest it and fully understand it. So I just thought that the appearance of the Tower twice in one day from 2 different decks, it was too much to not share with you guys. So yeah, let me know what you think about the Tower card, how it's appeared to you in different situations in the past, if you've had any similar tarot incidences in which the same card keeps coming up and up and up, you know. Yeah, it's been very interesting, and you know, the veil is getting thinner, so those messages are coming out nice and clear. The message I definitely needed to hear today. Okay, I'm done rambling. Have a wonderful Thursday, and I'll talk to you guys later.